last night, aside from the fact that it took, I think it was 31 or 32 minutes to finish up the final, whatever it was, minute or so of the fourth quarter, which was torturous.
It gets exhausting.
Torturous at that point. Torture. But you stayed up for it. The reward was obvious. You were rewarded. I was thinking about this morning. In the last couple of months, I don't think this is hyperbolic. We have been treated to, in terms of big moments, two of the greatest shots in the history of basketball. One is Jalen Suggs after UCLA tied up that game at 90, right?
Yep.
And he flung it just inside the half court, banked it. That was a banker off the window. They win. They beat the Bruins by 3, 93-90. And then last night, I mean, you've got basically no time on the clock here. You've got limited options. You're not going to throw it behind the 3-point stripe for like a quick hot potato. Let me fling it up. There's only one play that you could possibly do. You had 30 minutes basically. Not quite 30 minutes, but you had time to strategize and understand what was coming. First of all, I'm not sure which was harder, to actually execute that basket or to mess it up defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
What's tougher?
I mean, I think the harder part was to execute it, BT. And the reality is, I mean, think about this. You got an inbound defender who is right in the grill of the inbounder, Jay Crowder, and so he's got to fake it out so that the defender takes his left step, time it just right, put it exactly at the front of the rim from the baseline, which is not easy to do, even though those guys probably are. They're used to taking shots like that from the deep corner. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a little bit easier than it appears to me.
General vicinity, you mean?
Yeah, general vicinity, right?
Yeah.
But then get DeAndre Ayton coming off that back screen did just the right time. Because otherwise it hits the rim. You know what I mean? And it's an illegal inbound pass. So I think the timing, the execution of it was so difficult. And they didn't even practice it, really, they said after the game. So the fact that they executed it without having drilled it in their head, so this muscle memory, like dozens of times, that's what was most impressive for me. And by the way, I did not realize that rule, that everybody, above the cylinder on an inbounds pass, it's not goaltending.
Mark Jackson said that right away.
I had no idea that was a rule. So
that's fine. Obviously, it flew. Mark Jackson, his credit, was on top of it right away. He's like, no, that's good. That's good. I think Van Gundy agreed as well. That was sheer lunacy, And what was so amazing about last night? You don't have Chris Paul, right? You get basically nothing from Crowder. Mm-hmm. You have a really off night from Devin Booker, right? I think he was 5 for 16 overall. Booker did not shoot the ball well. Didn't even take a ton of shots. Not a lot of volume makes or attempts. And then you compare and you contrast. This is why, you and I both said the Suns would win last night, even without Chris Paul. We got word before our show ended that he would not play. But think about what happened in Game 7 for the Nets. And you were out on Monday, and I was all over Steve Nash for a horrendous utilization, not just in Game 7, that was a microcosm, but, not using DeAndre Jordan. I thought there were some other things he could have done to tap into the bench. And last night, despite no CP3, despite nothing from Crowder, despite an off night from Booker, Saric played well. Mm-hmm. Johnson played well. Cameron Payne was great. He's a starter. But two of the three names I mentioned are reserves. All major contributions. The Nets got not a single field goal attempt in their Game 7. And the Suns had options everywhere. Some of their big guns didn't perform. This Phoenix Suns team is terrific.
Yeah, and
they're awesome. I love watching this team.
They're fun to watch. That's why we love watching them. Because let's be honest, in the regular season, they were a story simply because Chris Paul was lifting them from this nowhereville that they've been. I don't want to say they were bad, but they certainly weren't good. They were just
they were pretty bad outside of the bubble.
Yeah,
they've been pretty bad.
But you know what I mean? They're interesting because of the talent on the team. So it's not like it's a give up on them team, like bottom dwellers who were 13, 14, 15 in the Western Conference.
Like the Pistons this year.
No appreciable talent. You're just like, is there anybody even fun to watch on that team? Nah, not really. And so they were just kind of this cool story this season. But they're West Coast, so maybe we saw a few of their games live. Most of it was on replay or on NBA TV, which is how I catch a lot of the stuff in the regular season instead of staying up late to catch the West Coast stuff. And so so like the team, but you don't really know it. Right? In this postseason, just like last postseason in the bubble, you got to know this team a little bit, and they're fun as hell. They're well constructed, and now that Monty Williams is the coach, you can tell how like detail oriented he is. Like the maneuvering, and again, back to that last play, that alley-oop play, inbounds alley-oop, the maneuvering from the diversion from the inbounder right on the side on the side there at the elbow, going all the way around to the other side of the court.
Yep.
Right, the screen and the back screen, and then the lob, just drawing that up, and I think he did it on the sideline. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he go, "Hey, this is play 16, right?"
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He's on the whiteboard. Like, this is what we're gonna do. Do this, and then them all go do it and execute it. It just tells you how dialed in, how focused this team is, and how Monty Williams has the ear of this squad, which makes them even more exciting to watch.
You know what I noticed too, and it's funny. My little guy Colton's got a play date over today, right? Somebody that they just graduated kindergarten yesterday, so he had one of the girls in his class. So I think he likes her, by the way. He definitely likes her. And you got your little girl? No, Dad, no, not my girlfriend. All right, buddy, I got you. I told him in the car today, I said, buddy, just remember one thing. We had to go get a new baseball bat. And I knew that she was coming over a little later in the day. I said, let me tell you, I said, Mommy and Daddy raised you, especially Daddy. This is Daddy's job to, more so, I mean, Mommy's too, but Daddy's job to make sure that he understands the dynamic between boy, girl, man, woman eventually as he gets older, right? Which I take pride in. I know you've done the same with your sons. I say, so I had to be careful. I don't want them to get the wrong idea. I said, listen, we are always respectful towards little girls and women, right? I said, but Daddy's going to give you a little hint. I said, a lot of boys, like when they like a girl, they're a little bit meaner. Think about that when you're young, like, because you don't know how you almost show off or you're mean, whatever. I said that, and even though he was saying, no, I don't like her dad, he's just a friend. I said, make sure you're a little nicer to the ones that you really do like. Nice to everybody, but really nice to the ones that you like. And the point is that when they're running in outside of the house on the deck in the backyard, and I was coming in from doing something, and I forget. Oh, they were talking about their other siblings, right? And it's funny because you teach your little ones things, and because of the repetition, at least in which I try to teach, the kids are like, yeah, Dad, I know. Yeah, Dad. And then as the dad, you're like, well, but do they really know? They're kind of yesing me to death. So I heard him say something, reiterate something, I was very proud of it, about his sister earlier. And he didn't know I was listening. And to me, that is the sons. You're like, what in the world are you talking about? Chris Paul taught them how to function without Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Like Chris Paul being there, holding their hand, every day in practice, in film session, on the road, how to be a pro, how to comport yourself, get your sleep, eat properly, do the right things, be a diligent professional to extend and maximize your career, all the little things that were missing before Chris Paul arrived. If this is 3 months ago, I'm not so sure they were able to execute and let alone win, but even function without Chris Paul in a high-level game. Chris Paul's not there, and they're still able to do it because of the lessons taught. I mean, you say Monty Williams, but really by Chris Paul.
That's a good point. It's a really good point, because Chris Paul is like their player coach, and I don't mean that in a he's washed up, he's done, he has no skill left, because obviously he can play, but I think there's you have to have somebody, especially in the NBA. I think in other sports, because it's so physical, like hockey. It's like extraordinarily physical. The way you learn is by going out there, getting your butt kicked a few times. Football is the same way. Get your butt kicked a few times. But baseball and basketball, it's a finesse sport, even though there's a lot of athleticism and there's nuance to how to be good, right? You can be, you have all the talent in the world and still be bad as a team. This is on all levels. And so once you get that guy who's actually on the court, doing the stuff with you, teaching you, even if it's by example, you're just seeing how he runs through plays or how he executes a specific, a game time situation. It carries over because you've seen it, and he relishes this role now. I think there was a point in Chris Paul's career, BT, where he felt like, he had to keep up with the Joneses of the superstars, you know what I mean? Like
his buddies.
Exactly. All his buddies. Like, I got to be this guy. I got to be, a badass. I got to do X, Y, Z. And I feel like over the last couple of years, and again, this is just my observation from afar because we've never talked to Chris Paul. I've never had any interaction.
I had him on when he was still at Wake Forest.
Oh, wow.
I'll never forget, I was at the Final Four, 22nd aside.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Yankee hat, right? And he comes on my show, smaller version of Radio Row.
He's not from up our way.
No, he's not from New York. No.
Yeah.
And but the Yankees especially, that winning left and right. And and I remember it was after his first year, and I was trying to get him to give it up on the air whether or not he was going pro. But even then, I noticed, and it's easy to say this now because he's fulfilled everything. I'm not sure that I thought that 15 years ago, although I was immediately impressed. But I do remember saying, man, this is one cerebral cat who has his priorities lined up in order.
Yeah.
Like he was just very mature.
Yeah. And you can see that. And it's
No
trickling
doubt.
and it's trickling down in his older age, because he's not an old man, because he's not playing like one.
He's getting there, though, Teak.
It is, but he's not playing like that, especially when he's healthy. But it's trickling down to this Phoenix Suns team. So you're right. When he's not there, it's like he's still there.
Yes,
you know
they've
what I mean?
learned. Yes.
That's right. And so, and it's crazy, too, because he's not even allowed to be around them. So,
he's still in pro. He was on TikTok with his kids the other day.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near the arena.
It's not like he's on the bench saying, hey, campaign, do this, and, book, hey, do this. He has no interaction other than, I'm sure, Zoom conferences, if they even are doing that, because he's the only one that's out right now. So it's just, it's a testament to the strength of what the Phoenix Suns top to bottom have become. Monty Williams is obviously a big part of that, but you will never discount the importance of Chris Paul on this team, even in his absence.
You saw it after they won game one. You see DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker FaceTiming him like they're 10 years old, FaceTiming their dad after they hit their first home run or made their first basket.
Yeah, you're right.
DeAndre Ayton told the story where he woke up to a text message at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning from Chris Paul wishing him Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just little things like that. There was a point where I would, kind of look at the remaining 4 teams or 8 teams, whatever, and try to forecast, what would be best for ratings and what would be the best matchup. I don't own a network, so quite frankly, I don't care what the ratings are. Now, if the games were on CBS, maybe I'd have a little bit of a different outlook, maybe because it would indirectly impact. Certainly, it would directly impact our company, and on some level, probably indirectly impact us. I don't care if the ratings are awful, which, by the way, I don't think that they will be, because so far they've been pretty good in the playoffs here. I don't care how many people don't know about the Suns, and I don't mean the fervent fan. I mean the fringe fan who parachutes in for the finals, that doesn't want to watch the Phoenix, that thinks the last time the Suns were good, they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, or even Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley before that. I don't care. I worry about me and what these eyes get to see. And no diss of the Clippers, but without Kawhi, I got no interest watching the Clippers. I want to see the Phoenix Suns. And I'm a little conflicted. We'll get to the Bucks and the Hawks later because there's 2 great stories. I want to see Giannis play for a championship. I really do. So I'm kind of leaning. I want to see Bucks versus the Suns. But there's something fun about the Suns team, too. Pardon me, about this Hawks team that I want to see. So I think any way you cut it, unless you somehow got a Clippers team without Kawhi, I think it's win-win for the diehard basketball fan. We're going to get a treat next couple weeks.
No, I definitely agree, and especially if it's the Suns and Atlanta. I mean, those.
But is that what you want? What would your preference be? Suns and don't you want to see Giannis go for the chip?
Yeah, I do, but they kind of bore me. You know what I mean? But I mean, here's the thing, because Giannis is great. There's no denying his ascent from where he became this project, and all of a sudden he became a really great basketball player, winning 2 MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year, all that stuff. He's great, and if he won a championship, it'd be fantastic. It really would, and honestly, it'd be great for Milwaukee.
Yeah,
right?
yes, and great for the NBA. Another validated superstar.
That's right.
That's now a champion
in a small market.
Yes.
Right? A validated superstar winning a championship in a small market. Kind of like Kawhi in Toronto, but not really. He can't really claim it. You know what I mean? He can't.
If he was still
Toronto.
there, it would feel different.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, he was one and done there, and he won a championship, and it's great. It's great for the small market. But if Milwaukee won a championship and Giannis validate, as you said, his superstar status by having that ring, I think it's great. But watching it, the Hawks, they're just fun, man.
They are.
And Trae Young is a superstar and is a superstar character.
Yes.
Right? Not just a great player on the court, but Like, he feels it. Like, there's certain players you can watch them and they just understand the moment and what they have accomplished and what it emotionally has done to the fans, whether it was fans in the stadium, fans, at home, or the opposing fans who are raining down who knows what kind of hate on him. He relishes in that. And there's just something like special to watch when you see that happening. And he gets it, man. Like, he gets it. Giannis is a superstar. I'm not saying that. But he's reserved. And, you know, if he won a championship, I mean, I can't even see how he would celebrate. You know what I mean? I know obviously he would, but I don't know. Either one would be great.
And by the way, maybe we shouldn't bury the Clippers because they've been here before down 0-2. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.